This morning, the leaders of two far-right extremist groups are free after being pardoned for helping to plan the January 6th insurrection. Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio and Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, both convicted of seditious conspiracy, left prison on Tuesday, just hours after President Trump granted clemency to more than 1,500 people charged with trying to overturn the 2020 election, rioting at the Capitol. Let's discuss that and more now with Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. Axios is reporting that Trump's January 6 pardons were a last-minute decision. His team was reportedly wrestling with how to handle them. But according to one advisor, Trump said, quote, "F it, release them all." Your response?
Well, Jim, as always, it's good to be on here for my weekly beating from you all at CNN, and I appreciate you, brother. And I was thinking about you this morning, actually, because I remember Rush Limbaugh, somebody called in when Bill Clinton was elected president, and they said, "Oh, I bet you're depressed." And he said, "Depressed? Heck no, I got 4 years of material." Just think, you've got 4 years of material at least right
now.
Well,
I'm not so much worried about material, Congressman, as I am about the president releasing violent offenders who attacked the Capitol, where you're standing right now on January 6th, people who were convicted of seditious conspiracy. I spoke with Officer Harry Dunn at the top of the program. I spoke with the ex-wife of Stuart Rhodes, Tasha Adams. They are both worried about their safety. Do you defend what Donald Trump did, releasing these people from prison, pardoning them, commuting their sentences? Yes or no?
I was the last person to leave the Capitol grounds, the floor of the Capitol, last member of Congress on January 6th when all this went down. I was offended as anybody. If they crossed those barriers, they were breaking the law. But you got to realize, too, they are charged under federal law. Many of them never even saw their day in court and were sitting in a jail cell. So the whole thing is bad news. But you also,
Congressman, I asked you a yes or no question. Do you agree with President Trump's decision to pardon these violent people and releasing them from jail?
If they were truly violent, no. But do I know that they were? I don't know that.
What do you mean you don't know that? We're showing the footage on the air right now. Congressman, you were there that day. There are offenders on January 6th who violently beat police officers. There are offenders who are convicted of seditious conspiracy. That is the truth.
This is a political world, Jim, and I don't remember you all on CNN condemning Joe Biden for commuting the sentences of murderers and child molesters, which he did. And you all
Congressman,
refused,
I'm not asking you about that. Congressman, we talked about Joe Biden's pardons.
You never do, Jim.
Congressman, we did talk about it. We talked about Joe Biden's pardons.
Oh, Jim, you did not. You all read your report from the Democrat National Committee, as you always do, and you attack
absolutely
Americans.
False. Congressman, are you going to respond and say whether or not it is right to let these people out of jail?
I don't know if it is or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll tell you what isn't right.
You're a congressman. You're a member of Congress. You're an elected official. Take a stand.
They were not given due process. I told you if they crossed the line, they were trespassers. Should they rot in jail for the rest of their lives in a federal penitentiary and never be charged?
Beating police officer, tasing police officers,
Jim,
seditious conspiracy.
What you're forgetting to say is the ones that he didn't release. Why did he not release those? There are several that he did. This blanket thing you're all talking about is not a blanket. It's not a blanket pardon. There were several that he didn't for those very same reasons. Why are you not focusing on them?
Congressman, we're talking about the leader of the Oath Keepers, the leader of the Proud Boys. They should be released from prison?
What about the leader of the FBI? What about the FBI agents that were on the grounds, that were in that mess?
Congressman,
the
leader of the FBI was not rioting at the Capitol that day and beating up police officers. Whatever happened to Back the Blue? I want to show this. The Fraternal Order of Police, another police organization out there, the International Organization of Police Chiefs. If we can show that up on screen, that would be great. They both say that what President Trump did is wrong. They're deeply discouraged by these pardons. And I want to ask you,
Jim, if they broke the law, they ought to be in jail. If they broke the law, they ought to be in jail.
Okay,
you spring this stuff on me. I don't know. I haven't seen the tapes of these individuals of what they did.
What happened to Back the Blue? What happened to backing police officers? Your party has said time and again, we back the blue. It sounds like you let down the blue. You're betraying the blue.
Jim, why don't you just give an editorial and not let me come on? Look, what happened in the last 4 years with police? What happened with all the riots that took place all across the country? Police officers were murdered. Courthouses were burned. Over 22 police cars were burned. Yet no one went to jail for that. Where's your crocodile tears for that? No,
Congressman,
you're not
engaging
addressing
in
the facts.
You're engaging
No.
in a game of whataboutism. People were
What about
obviously
what you all do at
prosecuted
CNN
after those
every
riots.
day?
Every day.
What are you
all
talking
you've
about
done
is
what we're doing at CNN. We didn't storm
every
the
day.
Capitol. These people did, and President Trump let them out of jail. Why not just say, you were wrong, Mr. President? Say it. Why can't you say it?
Jim, as I said, individually, I don't know the case, but on several he did not release from jail. Why are you not putting the story out on that and saying it's a blanket? Show me the tapes of these individuals beating police officers.
We're showing it right now.
Of those
Congressman,
individuals,
you're saying, I'll be happy to go to your office and show you the footage of these people beating police officers.
I've seen the footage. I've seen that footage, but of those individuals, Jim,
Congressman, I spoke with the
that.
ex-wife of Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers. This is what she told me just a few moments ago. Let's listen to this.
I'm worried. I am worried. I also worry about his followers. They're a bit unhinged, and he does seem to be regathering and regrouping his army, right now.
Congressman, there are relatives who turned in their relatives because they were involved on January 6th. Who's going to protect them now that these people have been released?
Jim, I had individuals from my community, bankers, church people, that left before all this happened. The FBI came to their house, their places of business, and harassed them. This was a political thing from the start. It was a bad day in America. If they crossed the lines,
they were trespassing. It's not a political thing.
Jim,
Congressman, they broke the law.
It's
not all political. There's such a thing as right and wrong and law and order. And Congressman, your party has said, we back the blue. And I just want to ask you, if any of these people who were released from prison, if any of them commit crimes in the future, should Donald Trump take personal responsibility for that?
No more than Joe Biden should take personal responsibility for the 14 million people, for Laken Riley losing her life because he didn't have enough guts to enforce the law.
I'm not talking about Joe Biden.
Americans.
If Joe Biden pardons people and they reoffend, he's obviously responsible for that. I'm asking you, why can't members of your party just tell the president when he's wrong? Why can't you do that?
You spent 4 years making excuses for a fellow with Alzheimer's in the lead office in this country.
Congressman, you and I talked about this. We raised questions about that time and again on this network, on this program. I'm asking you a question.
For 4 years.
Is President Trump responsible? Is he responsible if some of these offenders reoffend? What happens if one of the Oath Keepers of the Proud Boys goes out there and hurts somebody? And they were involved on January 6th and were put in prison, and Donald Trump released them. Isn't he then responsible for that? Isn't he responsible if somebody gets hurt?
I would say if they're Trump-appointed judges, they will go to jail. But if they're Joe Biden-appointed judges or Soros-backed DAs, they'll probably walk, as they do in New York and the rest of the country. As we saw during the Black Lives Matter marches, we saw in the riots all across the country, those people walked. Nobody went to jail for that. Millions upon millions of dollars of property was damaged. You all didn't raise a finger, didn't say one word about it.
Congressman,
you
that's
showed
just
it
not
and said,
true.
"Oh, it's all in order." You showed we had riots where towns were burning down, and they were allowed to do it. They were allowed to do it, and you all did not. Oh, you covered it, Jim. Come on, Jim.
All day
long. You gave it the
bare
modicum of coverage, and then you went on to trash Trump or some conservative cause.
I was at the White House covering the first Trump administration when they had rioting outside of the White House. I mean, that was covered on CNN. What you're saying, this is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah.
This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. Look, I left the White House during a riot. My life was threatened. My life has been threatened within the last few weeks, yet there's no coverage of that. And you all continue this narrative attacking Trump. You just can't stand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Congressman,
and that your view is very diminished.
That's not the case at all.
And your view is very diminished.
I asked you to come on to ask you about these pardons because they are highly controversial and they could result in people getting hurt. And I think that's a sincere question to ask.
If they break the law, then they go to jail.
If they went to jail, and then the president let them out of jail. And all I'm asking you is for you to say that if you feel it's wrong, say it's wrong.
That's the key. They did go to jail. And under these Soros-backed DAs all across the country, these people are walking for much more heinous crimes than this.
Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Jim Acosta. Our next hour of Newsroom